Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ultimate Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Discussion, starring RogersBase. This is the part where RogersBase says,
What's going on, everybody? RogersBase here, and today I will be discussing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with TheBitBlock.
This is very true. We are going to sit back here and we're going to casually discuss it. You know, it's funny because usually we do E3 discussions, but we've both been so busy that we haven't gotten around to doing it. So I kind of figure better late than never. We're going to do it live here. Although you might be watching it pre-recorded, I don't know. There is no layout or plans for this. We are just going to jump all over the place talking about Ultimate. And so I don't know about you, Roger, but I am definitely ready to chat about this game.
I am excited. I've literally been waiting to do this until since the day after E3. I've really wanted to discuss this game. I have been so excited talking about Smash Ultimate and recording my own videos. And now we finally have the opportunity. So where do you want to begin?
Oh, well, should we begin with... Let's begin with the way it was presented at E3. We'll kind of get into the actual game, but let's just talk a little bit. So for me, while I love Smash Brothers and I was, excited about it, I feel like they just went on way too much with the game, and there was definitely this feeling that there were a lot of people talking about how they were kind of annoyed with how much Smash Brothers there was, and I wonder if that was kind of detrimental to the original reveal of the game. I know you, and I know that if they talked about it for an hour, you probably would have been very much cool with that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I just feel like the way they revealed it, they could have kind of toned it down a bit. And, they were going into so much detail that they were like, Olimar's helmet cracks for a brief split second when he gets hit, but then it goes back to normal when he lands or whatever. And I'm just like, that is not the kind of information you need to tell us at an E3 Direct.
See, I thought that was actually kind of funny, though, and a little bit trolly. And I know there were a lot of people who were upset with this E3 because if you're not a Smash Brothers or a Pokemon fan, it might seem like there wasn't a lot for you. Mm-hmm. But two things on that. One, Kimishima has mentioned we have not seen the full fall lineup and that there will be more autumn games revealed in the coming months, which I think is pretty exciting. And two, I am naturally an enormous Super Smash Brothers fan. Smash, Pokemon, Metroid, Animal Crossing, those are my favorite franchises. And so to see Pokemon, Smash Brothers, and a massive Metroid character announcement in this game was really all that I needed this E3. But I completely understand why certain people were upset. It was just that this E3 was sort of tailor-made for me. Not just even with Nintendo stuff, but I think even with everything else in general. There were a lot of anime games that got revealed. There was that Jump Force game. They had that My Hero Academia fighting game. Kingdom Hearts there. So there were a lot of games that I personally was interested in, but I completely understand if people were bummed. I mean, even for me, them showing off the Xenoblade Chronicles DLC, that's awesome. I've put 300-something hours into that game on the Switch. I absolutely adore it. So I was ready to see the new DLC. I've been waiting for it. But again, I know somebody like you who's not super into that franchise is probably like, come on, let's move on already.
Mm-hmm. So overall, I did think the E3 was disappointing, but I just wanted kind of some more smaller games. I really like the stuff that's a little smaller, something that might be surprising, like a Wave Race or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Smash Brothers just could have been toned down a bit, even though I do
think it was smart that they didn't do that at E3, though, because I think Smash hype pretty much takes over everything. And had they shown a bunch of smaller games, even though it would appeal to people like us who are looking out for that stuff, I think the general audience is mostly focused on Smash Brothers, and they knew that, well, let's just throw everything out there, especially because they're bringing back every character. There were a lot of different mechanics that people who really into Melee who haven't really been feeling Brawl and Smash 4 were really going to be interested in, but I also think they're still not forgetting about that casual audience. There's a lot of new items and new Pokemon and assist trophies they showed off, and a bunch of the really cool stages are coming back as well, but we'll get into that a little bit later.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's kind of a dumb question to ask, and I don't really know how much we can go into this, but what do you think of the character roster, the characters? I mean,
I think my reaction speaks for itself when you look at when I did my reaction and I saw that trailer and I saw Snake come back and then the words "Everyone is here," I screamed, and then immediately after seeing that and we saw Pichu with Jigglypuff, I went, "Oh my god!" And I had the realization that he actually means everyone is back. Every character that's ever been in Smash Brothers. And then I just started weeping live on camera. I could not contain my hype. This is genuinely what I've wanted for a really long time now, but I sort of resigned myself to the fact that we were probably never going to get it. And even when we did discussions prior to this game's reveal, where we talked about bringing back maybe the full roster of new, plus adding new characters, or maybe trimming down the roster and then maybe remapping some of the movesets for some of these other characters, I thought that was the direction they were going to go in. I certainly did not think they were going to bring back every single character and still add new stuff. So that made me really, really happy.
Yeah, it's interesting. I would have been happy either way. If they would have been like, hey, this new game is going to have 16 characters, but we're totally changing every single one of the characters that's been in it before, and there will be like 5 new ones or something. I think I would have been fine. I would have been fine with that. Although, just this idea of this is a Smash explosion of not only like every character, but also almost every stage and all the items and stuff, which we'll get into a little bit later. But like, I do like that this game is ultimately a celebration of Smash Brothers in such a massive way. I think that's a great direction. But let's talk about some specifics with characters, because before we began this live stream, we were talking and I said there are some things that I'm disappointed by. And I think that a good amount of the final smashes have been ruined in this game, and I'm kind of bummed about it.
So that's interesting you say that, because I feel the exact opposite way.
Well, we're going to challenge each other on this then.
Yeah. So we also have not yet seen all the final smashes for returning characters. So if you go and you watch all those character trailers that are on the website, and anybody who has not been exploring the website, I highly suggest doing so. There's a lot of stuff that's already been revealed on the website that wasn't showed off at E3. And in terms of stages, music, different type of attacks, like changes to movesets. And I actually really do like the fact that they got rid of the transformation stuff. I think it was kind of stupid, like walking around the stage with Giga Bowser, and I think what they did now, putting Giga Bowser in the back of the stage and making it sort of like the Yoshi's Island boss, was pretty cool. The only final smash that I'm like, I'm not really a fan of this one, is Little Max. Because I actually do like that they changed Donkey Kong's to be that like multi-hit punch that's like at the end of Jungle Beat and the Donkey Kong Country games whenever you get through a level. But it doesn't really make sense for Gigamac. I would have liked something else, maybe like where we go into a screen that looks like the original Punch-Out and then he punches from the foreground. That would have been kind of cool. But beyond him, I like all the other final smashes. I think they're pretty neat.
I think they took a lot of the strategy out of the game. It's just face the characters, press the smash button, and then do the thing, and you get a lot of them seem to just boil down to watching a animation of a character punching a whole bunch. Whereas before, they required skill, because you would turn into your form or you would do something, and you'd have to get the kills yourself. Now it's just, you just wait and watch an animation instead of actually keeping the flow of the gameplay going. I don't like how they've removed the ability to control final smashes in seemingly almost all of them. I know there are a few still, but I really just don't like that.
Bayonetta's you still control. She goes into Witch Time and you can do attacks. Snakes you can too. You move the reticle around to shoot the missiles. Mm-hmm. So there are a couple characters you can still control, but for the most part they did change them. And I'm actually really excited to see what the new final smashes are going to be for all the Pokemon, because a lot of the Pokemon's final smashes were like mega evolutions and kind of boring things. So I want to see them go all out with some really cool attacks.
Mm-hmm. Well, like also Lucas was a character I play as a lot. Or like Ness, and you used to do the like PK Starstorm, but now it seems like you don't control it. Before you would have to like angle it and control it, so it meant that a final smash wasn't like a guaranteed point. You had to be good at using it, and they didn't stop the flow of the game, because you could also kill other players while the other person was using the final smash. So like one of the things
I'm trying to remember, because Ness was in the demo at E3, and I've played like 6 hours of this game, and I'm trying to remember whether or not you can control his.
It looks like you can't from the footage.
I think you can, though. I think you can. I'm almost certain that I saw somebody moving it, but I'm not sure.
Based on the footage, it looks like it's just a cluster of stars falling down. It's not like a line anymore. It just looks like it's a big explosion from the sky.
I don't know. I'll have to double check. I mean, to be fair, based on the original footage of Mario Galaxy, we were worried that it was going to be a 3D world type game. So I feel like that's maybe not necessarily representative of the final product. But I don't know. I feel like you can move Nesses a little bit.
Okay.
I'll have to check.
Well, but I mean, just overall, my thought is I don't really like how... Like, even Donkey Kong, his old Final Smash of, like, the Donkey Konga thing where you'd, like, hit the buttons in time, it was a little weak, and I think it should have been more strong, like the shockwaves you sent out. But overall, it was good. It's better than what they did, because now it's just watch this animation of something hitting a thing a bunch instead of having to have some skill in order to get your points. So I'm not a big fan of that, and I wish they would have just kept them kind of the way they were. Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to wait to play the game, but I do think so far that's one of the things that I thought, oh, that's a bit of a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, I really do like Final Smashes. I think it's really fun when you're playing casually. But I think for me, it's like I usually play with them turned off just because I play more competitively than I do casually. So it's not really a huge deal to me. But I can understand if you're upset by it, if you're somebody who's been like a really casual Smash fan, which I know you are. I mean, you always like playing with items on, so.
Mm-hmm. The proper way to play. No. No. Okay, sticking with characters also, I gotta say this is a little bit of a complaint as well. And I've only got like a couple complaints, so don't worry. I hate two things they did to two sexy characters. One, Zero Suit Samus looks like crap, and two, Solid Snake looks like crap. They removed Snake's good shiny butt, and Samus has no tits.
I was genuinely concerned. I thought you were going to have a real complaint with the characters, and I was genuinely
this is a real complaint. I hate the way Zero Suit Samus looks. They really effed up her shaders on her Zero Suit. It looks like crap now. It's like part of it's shiny, and it's got like a weird bumpiness to it. She has no tits anymore because apparently Nintendo hates ladies with big boobs. Sorry, ladies with large tits, but you can't be represented. But no, I that's something in general. I think for some of the levels, some of the lighting in levels makes the characters look really bad because of the shaders. It seems like they had too much time on their hands, and so they had to go back and think like, well, what can we do to make this look better? I don't know, we'll mess with the shaders on the materials. And like Mario looks particularly ugly in some of the stages because of the like really bright glowy shader that he has that doesn't look like it's like too strong. So there's a few texture shaders that I look at and just think, man, that looks ugly. Like I think genuinely Zero Suit Samus, her model, everything about her looks way better in Smash 4 than it does in Ultimate. Like even just comparing screenshots. I just don't.
Because I'm just looking at the website right now and looking at the Zero Suit model, and I think it looks pretty good. But I see what you're talking about in screenshots. Again, though, that's something that it's still in development, and there's actually a lot of weird glitchy stuff in a lot of these screenshots. We've been talking about this for weeks now on Japan Time. Young Link's hair. There's a lot of things that are clearly not finalized.
I'm glad you brought that up, actually.
Yeah, it looks really weird. So there are things that are clipping in the screenshots that I would say don't really worry about it, because if you go back in the early days of Brawl and Smash 4, a lot of those weird graphical glitches were fixed in the final product of the game. And that's also something they went out of their way to fix in the Wii U version of the game as well with patches. There were certain things that were like shaders on characters and fur textures that they went in and actually fixed even after the game was released.
Okay. Another thing, though, that I noticed when I was watching is so it's, again, I feel like they had so much time and so much of a huge team and a budget that they were like, well, I don't know, we got all this time. What can we do? Let's fix. Because like if you look at Villager now, Villager's shirt has like physics on it. So where it like moves and stuff.
Right.
But the problem with doing that, it's like, clap, clap, clap for the effort, but it's so not needed, because what you end up having is like, there's tons of moments where like Villager's arm just completely falls out of his sleeve and like his legs just completely go through his body and stuff because of that pointless little extra. And again, like I'm definitely giving them props for trying it, but at a certain point you have to just be like, no, we don't need to do that. It's just going to cause more problems. So there's certainly things like that where I'm like, oh, they shouldn't have done that because it just doesn't look right. But we'll see what it looks like. Yeah.
While we're on the topic, though, of graphics, I do think that side by side, if you look at a lot of these characters, there is a noticeable graphical upgrade, not just to some of the characters, but to the stages. I think the stages, this is a huge plus. Yeah, but this is a huge plus. I was concerned that when they were going to bring back a lot of the Melee and Brawl stages, that they weren't actually going to go in and, fix them, make them HD, make them look really, really nice. Mm-hmm. And they're actually going back to things like Congo Falls and Corneria and even Venom and making them look really beautiful in HD. And it seems like their goal with these stages is to make these stages look like you remember them and not necessarily be a one-to-one direct port. So like a perfect example of this is in the demo that was at E3, they had the Saffron City stage from the N64 game. Mm-hmm. And obviously when you go back and you think about that stage, the Pokemon that pop out of the level were like these weird, gross-looking, blocky pixel things.
They're 2D.
But the stage, yeah, exactly. And the stage itself was always 3D. So what they did for the stage now in Smash Ultimate is the stage itself is really nice HD. There's nice textures on the building and everything. But when the Pokemon still pop out of the building because they know that you're familiar with this, they made them, and they're new versions of the Pokemon. It's not the ones like ripped from the N64. They made bad 2D pixel versions of the Pokemon to pop out of the building. And it's jarring at first, but then when you're actually playing on the stage, it's a really nice little graphical touch. And there's stuff like that that I just think is really cool. Magicant, which was in the 3DS version, that cool like pink Earthbound stage, even though that was just in the last version of Smash Brothers, they fixed so much stuff in the background that now when you're seeing it in HD, it just looks all the more beautiful, but still has like the cool little Earthbound touches to it. So there's little things like that I love with these stages, and that I like with the characters as well. I think if you look at Pichu screenshots, Pichu looks like one of the best graphically characters in the entire game. Lucas's hair has shaders. He's got like shadows coming off of his hair. His snake has scales. It's really great, man. It's really great.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I think there's certainly some improvements and some touch-ups they need to do with the lighting on characters and their shaders. But, you know, when you're playing Smash Brothers, it's all so fast-paced. It's not really something you necessarily notice. But it is a game that I like to... Oh, man, I just realized something. Roger, as you know, I'm a whore when it comes to taking pictures on the Switch. And so with this game, oh my God, I'm going to be taking so many screenshots. Like I genuinely, I have like, I'm not even kidding, over 4,000 screenshots on my Switch right now of things.
I do too. You're not alone. Don't worry. You're not weird.
Okay.
I do the exact same thing.
So with Smash Brothers, I just anticipate that going up like by another 4,000 because there's so many fun screenshots. Okay, but that's it pretty much for the characters. Obviously, we both like the character roster. Really quick, just because I feel like we have to do this. Pick one character you think might be added to the series, because there's obviously a few more maybe that we don't know, 2 or 3 or something that we don't know about yet. There are some newcomers still to come. Pick one. Yeah. What do you think could be a newcomer?
That I definitely think is going to get added?
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about this on Japan Time a little bit, and it's also come out recently that the fighter ballot for Smash 4 was actually not used for Smash 4, and that the character files for Bayonetta and Ryu and all these other characters were already in the game, and the only character slot they added post-release was for Corrin, who was the new Fire Emblem character. So all those characters were actually like picked before the game even came out, Roy and Ryu and stuff like that.
That makes sense.
With that being said, we're looking in this one now. We see characters like Ridley and the Inklings that have been added. I think they are going to utilize that fighter ballot for this game. It seems pretty likely that that's what that was actually used for. And so I think a lot of the characters that you saw people campaigning for in the Smash 4 days are actually going to make their way into this game. So I'm going to give you one brand new character that I feel really strongly is going to be added, and one Echo Fighter that I think is probably also going to be added.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
Ready.
Okay. The new character I feel really strongly is going to get added to the game is King K Rool. I feel really, really strongly about this. I think we'll probably still end up getting a new Pokemon. We might get another third-party character. Like, there were rumors of Simon Belmont being added to the game. Maybe Geno will show up. But I feel really strongly that it's K Rool's time to shine. K Rool sort of falls in the same category that Ridley does, where he's always had a lot of like fan, he's always had a big push from the fans to be in the game. But Sakurai's always been like, I don't know, we'll make Ridley a stage hazard. I don't know, we'll make King K Rool a Mii costume. And I don't think that's going to happen anymore. I think they're going to put K Rool in there as a newcomer. And as for an Echo Fighter, I'm surprised nobody is talking about this. Basically, the new mascot of the Animal Crossing franchise is Isabel. And when they first announced the idea of Echo Fighters, it seems really likely to me, especially considering Isabel is no longer an assist trophy in Smash Ultimate, that they're probably going to make Isabel an Echo Fighter for Villager. So that's my guess.
Are you sure she's not an assist trophy?
Yes. I've played 6 hours. We've dissected all of this. Yes, she is not an assist trophy. And weirdly enough, neither is Dark Samus or Shadow the Hedgehog. And all 3 of those seem like very likely Echo Fighters. So there you go.
Okay. For some reason, I can't picture Isabel fighting, though. She's such a calm, sweet character. It'd be very bizarre to me.
Well, I think imagine the Villager's moveset, right? Imagine all the cute little things the Villager does where he pockets stuff and build trees. And I do think that Isabel would end up doing the same thing. And even for the final Smash, you know how the Villager builds the house using Tom Nook and his friends? I think for Isabel, her final Smash will be like town projects. Like you'll build a fountain or something to call back to New Leaf, or maybe like you'll build Brewster's Cafe or like a new city hall or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
But Isabel has not been present in any screenshot, and that is very bizarre considering all the other characters from Animal Crossing that have been. So that says to me that there's something in the works for Isabel, and we know there was a big push for her in the fighter ballot days as well. So that's my guess.
Okay. Okay. We'll see.
How about you? How about you?
It's funny because it's really hard for me to think of characters to add to Smash Brothers. This roster is so gigantic that I
know it's so good. It's like everybody's here.
That I feel like anything I say would just kind of be a wish and not necessarily based on any reality. I don't know. I mean, I was going to say Paper Mario seems like it could be a possibility because even though the last couple games weren't great, the last few games weren't great, Nintendo still clearly likes making Paper Mario games. And there's really, we've already got that stage from the 3DS game, so I feel like a Paper Mario character, like, he plays, or he looks like Game & Watch a bit, where he's flat, and he's got, like, partners that come out as his special abilities or his final smash or something. So I can definitely see Paper Mario. Or I would also say maybe we need a representative from Rhythm Heaven. We had a lot of those rumors about the choir kids.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I actually feel pretty strongly that we're going to get a Rhythm Heaven character too. Okay. Just because of all the stuff that happened in Smash 4 with those leaks where every character except that one in Chrom came true. And then we found out later on that Sakurai was working on Chrom and then ended up scrapping it for Lucina. So the only one left from that original leak are the chorus kids. So I do think that now that there's been extra time to work on the characters, they might have gone back to that original model and said, you know what, let's work on this. Let's maybe make Karate Joe or chorus kids or whatever.
Yeah, Karate Joe I think would work really good for Smash Brothers. That's a logical choice. The choir kids would be, or the chorus kids would be particularly strange. So it's just such a great series, and I think it should be in Smash. It'd be really fun. They could be a wacky character.
Real quick, I wanna call out somebody in the chat because I called him out. I called him out during my live reaction, and I just want to say congratulations to him. This guy is insane. He has gone on every video for the past 5 years writing Daisy for Smash Brothers, Daisy for Smash Brothers. Memory Man 3, I am genuinely so happy for you that you got your wish for Daisy in Smash Brothers. I thought you were insane, that it was never going to happen, but it turns out Sakurai is a Daisy fan, and I think it is genuinely hysterical that Waluigi fans aren't going to get Waluigi, but we're going to have Daisy in the game. So I think that's really, really funny. So Memory Man, kudos to you, dude.
I think it's weird that Daisy's in the game. It seems unofficial.
Well, I mean, it makes sense because Daisy was always an alternate color for Peach, but I never really thought that they were going to separate the clone characters as Echo Fighters. And now that they're doing that, it's weird because, like, Smash Brothers fans, we've always been like, we don't want more clone characters. What are you talking about? But now I'm thinking about the ideas of other Echo Fighters that they could throw in there, just like really easily as another character. And it kind of genuinely excites me. Like, we already know we're going to get a couple other newcomers that are just brand new characters altogether. And we already have so many characters in this already that, like, even if we only get 3 or 4 brand new ones, like, added to the ones we already got, I would be fine with that, you know? But with Echo Fighters, I think they could go all out. We could get like Octolings over Inklings. We can get Dark Samus. We can get Isabel. We can get Shadow, maybe Metal Sonic. We can get, Funky Kong over Donkey Kong. There's endless possibilities for the Echo Fighters. You could even throw like Skyward Sword Impa over Sheik. There's lots of stuff they could do. So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, you know what? At this point, I think I just feel like the more the merrier.
Yeah, exactly. Dry Bowser? Throw Dry Bowser in there, man.
yeah, that's something I would really like to, I don't know if they're going to do it. I doubt it, but whatever. Just costumes, like alternate costumes instead of always just being a color swap. You know what I mean?
So we saw a bunch of them already. We could see Meta Ridley for Ridley. They revealed that there's 2 versions of Ike. So there's like the Path of Radiance one and then the Radiant Dawn one. We saw the Builder and the Wedding version of Mario.
Oh, that's true.
So they're doing it. Yeah. So they're doing it full out and Link too. Link has the Tunic of the Wild, Andy has the Champion Tunic.
That's true.
So they're doing it for a lot of characters. Even the Splatoon Inkling characters, they all have really unique costumes that were even in the demo, which I think is pretty neat. So I do think they're going to go all out with costumes, and I'm going to make a prediction right now that when we end up getting DLC for this game, they're probably going to go the route that they did with Smash 4, where they added new Mii costumes, but I think we're also going to get new alternate costumes added as DLC as well later on down the line.
I'd like that
I think they're going to throw a lot of them in there with the original release, which is something I know we're jumping all over the place, but this is something that made me really happy and something I know made you really happy too, which is that Sakurai has said that the roster is going to start really small, but since everybody's in here, he's going to make the ways that you unlock characters sort of a little easier, or sort of set up these extra challenges to get characters so it always feels like you're unlocking stuff.
Right.
And that's something I love about Sakurai games. You have like the challenge wall in Brawl and the challenge wall in Kirby Air Ride. And so I do feel like we're going to get something similar to that, not just with the character roster, but with like trophies and stages and stuff in this game. So I'd be totally okay with, if what he said is true, we get the game day one, there's only 12 characters in it. But then as you play through, maybe the single player, or you play through some of the side match things like the target blast or break the targets or whatever, and you play online and you play with your friends, you keep unlocking characters. I think that's really, really neat.
Yeah, that is something that Mario Tennis Aces could have definitely learned from.
I agree with that. I agree.
There's somebody in this chat that made a very, very good point about a character. I can't believe that we have never talked about this character possibly being in Smash Brothers, and that is the Toots from Wii Music.
They could throw the Toots as an alt costume of the Mii's. There you go. Put the Toots in there.
The most popular Nintendo characters.
It's funny though, because I know neither of us are huge Daisy fans, but I know we were both like, oh, okay, all right, Daisy, all right. Like when she got revealed, it's like, I see you, girl. Okay.
I'm on Team Waluigi. I got to be honest with you. Like I don't care. Like I'm honestly at this point in my life where I don't have the energy to like care about not liking a character in Smash Brothers anymore. I don't know, I've evolved or something. But I do have a little bit of like, wow, Daisy's in this and Waluigi isn't. That's a weird thing.
For me, I'm happy that Daisy's in this and not Waluigi, because it showed what horrible people Waluigi fans are. It's like where they're tweeting this horrible stuff at Sakurai, where he then had to make a statement being like, listen, I know, and all these other people were saying, could you please stop like harassing Sakurai over Waluigi? So I'm actually glad that Waluigi's not in it. I feel like now that Sakurai's tossing everything into this game for Ultimate, where he's throwing in all the characters and everything, it does sort of feel like now that the Waluigi fans have shown their true colors, he's going to basically like have all his plans for future Smash Brothers games 20, 30 years from now written down, things that you can and can't do. And when he passes off the series to somebody else, when Sakurai retires, he's going to be like, also, make sure to always keep Waluigi as an assist trophy. Never put him in there, ever. Unless, Nintendo makes like a standalone Waluigi game or something and then they tell him to put him in. But otherwise, I think Waluigi's chances now are done. I think the Waluigi fans ruined it for the future.
Listen, I'm a Waluigi fan, and I don't even have a Twitter to threaten Sakurai, nor would I. Let's be honest, though. Daisy didn't get in because of how great she is. She got in because she was an easy palette swap of Peach. She just plays pretty much like Peach with some alterations, and that's probably why Waluigi's not in the game, because there's no other character that you could just turn into Waluigi.
Exactly.
So I don't think it's that Sakurai's like, I hate Waluigi. I think it's just, hey, you know what, Peach? We could easily make Daisy out of Peach, right? Yeah, all right, do that.
Exactly. Yeah, Daisy just makes more sense. You could throw that character model over, Peach, and it's fine.
Right.
Whereas Waluigi's got the weird lanky limbs and everything, so I understand.
Yeah, and his fighting style is like not something you could convert anyone else into. There's been something that's been bothering me about Smash Brothers Ultimate for a long time now, and I need to get this off my chest. So the Inklings, there are boy and girl Inklings, and obviously the color swaps change their clothing. Everybody watching this video right now, I want you to look underneath the word Ultimate, and you can see a screenshot of one of the boy Inklings. He's wearing the Octoling boots, which are not shoes you can get in the game and wear. So I want to ask why exactly they made such a colossal error in the design of this game. I'm upset by it. At first I thought they were...
Wait, which one? The purple screenshot?
Yep. Just underneath.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
You can't get those in the game. And which doesn't make sense to me, because everybody likes the punk boots in the game. A lot of people wear those, so why not just put the punk boots in there? They're kind of similar, so why would you go with I don't get it. It's bothering me.
Maybe they'll do that to show, because now obviously there's that race war going on in Splatoon 2 between the squids and the octopi.
I'm Team Squid.
So maybe what they'll end up, I'm Team Octopus for sure.
You would
so be. What I think is kind of funny is that if they do end up putting the Octolings in the game as an Echo Fighter for Inkling, maybe they'll give the Octolings like Inkling boots or something, or like punks or something.
But when I saw that, I was like, wait a minute, why did they design the punk boots to be so tall? What is it? And then I was like, wait a minute, no.
I gotta say, the Inklings are so fun to play.
They look fun.
Both Inkling and Ridley are awesome additions. I played a lot of them at E3, both in the media booth, but also at the Invitational, because they had sort of like setups for us backstage. And my God, man, Inkling is going to be a really good character. I think their mobility is really good. All their aerials are really good. The specials are interesting. I love that Sakurai went out of his way to actually make the ink a full-on mechanic, and that like you can actually cover characters in ink, and there's different ink colors. So when you're playing, 8 Inklings in 8-player Smash on Moray Towers, that it's just super colorful. So I think that was really nice that they went out of their way to do that. And then Ridley is like how I've always wanted a heavy player to play as. So you know how like a lot of the time the mobility for some of these heavy characters doesn't really feel all that great. You're slow and you're walking around the stage. Ridley is still slow, but his mobility is really neat because when he's on the ground, he could just do his side special, grab a character and drag them across the stage. And you could really easily make your way across like a huge stage just by using that attack and dragging a character along it. So I love Ridley a lot. I think his down special is really interesting where he had that sweet spot. I like that Sakurai tossed in that thing where there's a weak point in his mouth when you're throwing the fireballs because it calls back to the original Metroid. And his final smash is easily one of the coolest in the game where he flies up into the sky, throws you against Samus's ship, and then blows it up. And then after the final smash ends, you could see, I don't know if you saw this in any of the treehouse footage or anything, but you can actually see Samus's gunship crashing in the background even after you finish the final smash, which I think is kind of neat.
Yeah, that is pretty cute.
And Ridley looks really cool.
Yeah, when he stands straight up, he looks like an old man in a way.
Well, it's funny. They clearly threw that in there as a taunt to be like, oh, Ridley's too big. When he's standing up, he just looks really strange. But when he's crouched over, he looks really cool and pretty terrifying.
I thought you were anti-Ridley all this time. You made fun of the people.
Yeah, I did. Let me explain myself. The reason I was anti-Ridley was because Sakurai very clearly teased in Smash 4 on that one pick of the day that Ridley was going to be on Pyrosphere. And there were a bunch of Ridley fans going, no way, man. Ridley's still going to be in the game. And I said, no, he's not. He already teased he's going to be the background of Pyrosphere. If you think Ridley's going to be in this, you're stupid. It's not going to happen. There's no way he's going to be in Pyrosphere. And then once again, I was right. But if you remember at the very beginning when they teased this version of the game, I said, I think this is the time that Ridley could be added to the game. Because not only did they make Ridley smaller in Samus Returns, he was also a character that was really, really popular on the fighter ballot, and I did not expect the Pyrosphere stage to make a comeback. So I'm actually very happy that Ridley was in the game because I'm a huge Metroid fan. I always got that weird rep that like I hated Ridley when that was not the case. I hated Ridley fans during Smash 4. I never hated the character of Ridley. I always thought he was really cool. Why would you not want a giant purple fire-breathing, evil-looking dragon that ate Samus's parents? Like, why would you not want that in the game? Of course I wanted him in the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Funny, during my reaction when they revealed them, I'm like, oh God, I wonder if Roger hates this because I couldn't
I know.
remember that.
I know, you were like, I don't know if Roger likes this or hates this. We'll see. No, I'm very, very happy. And Metroid really did deserve another representative, so I'm really happy that he was thrown in there.
So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything about the characters. I can't think of anything else to talk about.
Well, one thing I do want to talk about, which I think you'll be really excited about, is a lot of the characters that were brought back that didn't have final smashes in Brawl. I think they're going to have really unique, cool final smashes. Because one thing I noticed is that the Fierce Deity outfit for Link was not in the demo of the game. Which leads me to believe that young Link's final smash is going to be the Fierce Deity mask from Majora's Mask. So I think they'll do something like that where maybe he transforms and shoots a sword beam and goes in the background of the stage or something. And I think we're going to end up seeing that for a lot of other characters in the game. We haven't seen all the final smashes, and I do think there are some really cool surprises that are still in store.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I love Zelda's new look, by the way, too.
Oh, yes.
The Link to the Past Zelda, perfect. I love that Sakurai is referencing every iteration of Zelda. We have, like, the Link to the Past version for Zelda. We've got the Breath of the Wild version for Link. We've got the Ocarina of Time version for Ganondorf. We've got Wind Waker Link in there. Majora's Mask Link in there. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I never liked Zelda's, like, design from Ocarina or Twilight Princess, and that's the one they usually would kind of go with. This one looks just really good. I love the way she looks in this game. She plays the same pretty much, right?
She does, but actually she's a lot better.
Okay.
So she was in the demo and she could short hop and basically kill you right away with her forward air if you know how to pull it off. And I could see you actually really liking Zelda because I feel like all the trolley mechanics from her moveset in Brawl that were then transferred over in Smash 4 and were actually buffed are still there but are better. So she's just an overall good character now. I think like they upped her mobility. Graphically, she looks really cool too. They added a lot of flair to her attacks, and I think you're going to really like playing her when the game comes out.
Mm-hmm. I love that there are seemingly a whole bunch of new items and assist trophies. Like, it doesn't seem like they're slacking on that. They got like the little bunny from the Badge Academy, or what was it called? The Badge?
Dude, yes. Oh my God. I freaked out when I saw that in the demo for the first time because he jumps in the background of the stage. And we even talked about this off camera months ago. I think even when we were at Disney World last year, we were talking about like how trolly it would be if they threw the Badge Arcade bunny in Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
So when I saw him as an assist trophy, I was like, there's no way. There's no way they put him in there. And you could see like the little Badge Arcade crane comes down from the top of the screen and then it picks up different characters. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely perfect that they threw him in. Sukapon, they put in Sukapon from Joy Mech Fight, which I never thought was going to be in the game. It's really neat that they're still going all out with characters as assist trophies and Pokemon and items. So I think that's pretty neat.
Yep. NX Revolution in the chat says that Fierce Deity is still a costume for Link in the game. We've seen it. So apparently it's a costume, I guess. That's that adds to the cool idea of costumes. I mean, that really adds to the fact that we're getting quite a bit of costumes for characters, so that's still cool.
I am actually going to really quickly fact check though because I played as Link quite a bit in the demo and it was not in there, to my knowledge. But let me double check. I'm going to type in right now.
I'm going to see if that's fake news.
I think it might be fake news. Costumes. Ultimate. But continue on. Go to your next topic, and then I'll
okay, so we'll talk a bit. We're going to move on a little bit to talking about stages, and some people in the chat are talking about different modes. We'll talk about modes last, because that's something I really want to talk about. It's what we know least about. Holy crap, it looks like they're bringing back... They don't have a stages section on the website. I'm looking at it. They're bringing back that other stage from Melee where the R-Wing was facing the camera. I forget the name of it.
Yes, Venom. They're bringing back Venom. Yes. Also, just double-checked, and yes, indeed, that was fake news. Fierce DD Link is, in fact, no longer a costume for Link. You can see it on the website. There's no Fierce DD Link. He may be confusing Fierce DD Link with Dark Link. Dark Link is still a costume, along with Tunic of the Wild from Breath of the Wild, the green classic version of Link, and the champion version of Link, and then a couple alternate costumes for the champion version of Link. But no, Fierce DD is not over Link anymore. I just double-checked. I looked at the footage of the costumes from the demo. It's not there.
Okay, so... You're hanging out with me and Bill has really given you a keen eye for detecting fake news.
Well, I'm looking at the people in your chat are saying, no, he is a costume. He is a costume. He is not.
Roger played the game, guys, and he would have looked through the costume.
I played the game for 6 hours, and I'm looking at the footage right now. I literally just double-checked, too, on Game Explain's footage. It is not there.
Whoa.
That is Dark Link that you guys are looking at.
Okay. All right. Everybody's still saying, I don't know. Well, we'll figure this out in December.
People say check the Smash Wiki. I played the game, people.
Did you?
I'm looking at the footage of the game where we scrolled through all the costumes. He's not a costume, man.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, did you go? You went through all the costumes?
Okay. I'm literally looking on the website right now. Okay. I'm looking right now on the website. It's not there. People are saying that there's Fierce Deity colors.
Oh my God, they're all going against you.
I know. There are Fierce Deity colors over the green tunic. That is true, but Fierce Deity Link is not there. And again, I will double check one more time, but I just looked at it and it's not there. So we have, hold on, I'm going to go one by one. Can we just like clarify this on stream right now? I'm going to do this right now.
Go for it.
All right. We have, I'm looking at this right now, all the different colors for Link. We have Champion Link, Tunic of the Wild Link. There's a sort of maroon version of the Champion Link.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I lied. There's Fierce Deity Link. Wow! Oh man, it scrolled past really, really fast in the footage. I'm wrong. I'm holding the L. I'm holding the L. All right, that's fine. He's there. It's the fourth one. Thank you, Trap Lord. Yeah, it scrolled by really fast in the footage. It is there. It's there. I'll take the L. It's fine. I can admit when I'm wrong, unlike Ridley fans in Smash 4. So Oh man, happy to
Listen,
take. Yeah,
you know what though? Hey, that's another costume, and that's really cool to me because I like the idea of
exactly.
costumes.
I do
So,
too. I like the idea of alternate costumes, so I'm
mhm.
happy with it.
Oh my lord, that Animal Crossing stage of Tortimer's Island is just holy lord.
Seeing it in HD, it is so nice.
That
It's
looks
so
awesome.
nice.
So
Yeah,
let's talk about a bit about stages because oddly enough, that is
yeah.
where a lot of my excitement lies. I know that might be a bit strange. I care about the characters and all that, but what caught me off guard the most in the E3 trailer of it was just all those like 3DS and Melee stages being remastered and how great they looked and how exciting it is that this game is probably just going to be loaded with stages. And for me, when I play with friends, we usually kind of levitate towards about 3 characters, each of us. There's sort of 3 characters. It's like, those are our characters. But with the stages, we play all of them. And it's like we take turns picking. So that's why the idea of even more stages is so incredibly exciting to me. And being able to play on some of those old Melee stages, and they're like beautiful, like that Congo, what is it, Congo Jungle? Or which one is the...
Congo Falls, man.
Congo
Oh
Falls.
my god,
That
so
looks amazing. And so, that was one of my favorite Melee stages. I love being a little troll.
Me too.
I love
Me
to
too.
troll other players. I go off on that little rock and I taunt them so they'll come by me, and then I just keep killing them, pushing them off the rock and throwing them aside. It's yeah, I'm very excited about the stages. Seeing the 3DS stages remastered is really neat. So yeah, just like such a huge fan of the stages. I wish the website had a section for stages, but they don't yet.
Well, yeah, not yet. So they have been revealing stages on the blog, but I don't think there's a separate section for stages just yet, because I think they're going to do something where you could just like click on the wall of stages and then like zoom into the blog.
Mm-hmm.
They have shown some of them separately on the blog, like Congo Falls, but we haven't seen a ton of them yet, so they haven't opened up a new section.
I am fairly certain that some of these returning stages from Smash 4 are even sort of polished up. I'm looking at the...
They are. Oh, they are, for sure.
Like, I'm looking at the City Folk stage for Animal Crossing, and the tree stump that is, like, sawed off in the background, that has definitely got more polygons and it's more detailed than what it was in Smash 4. So it seems like even the ones where you would think they just ported it over, they actually did go in and adjust a few things, which is very cool. Oh, by the way, going a little bit back to the characters, I am legitimately disappointed that they did not update the villagers' character model. We do not play Animal Crossing with little short squat characters anymore. They have legs now. I feel like since they were updating so many characters, that was one that really should have been updated because New Leaf was such a huge success. I think we all
So I actually want to go back to something I brought up with Isabel as an Echo Fighter. Just like how Sakurai is sort of referencing every era of Zelda with the costumes he's chosen as the default for those characters, I think he's sort of doing the same thing with Animal Crossing, which is another reason why I feel like Isabel will be an echo of the villager, because I think that version of villager sort of represents like the old style villager, and then we've got the new Leaf Animal Crossing characters represented by Isabel.
I just feel like in about 2 years, we'll definitely have Animal Crossing on Switch. The characters will once again be tall like they are in New Leaf, and I think there will just be a generation of kids that don't know why the Animal Crossing character is so short and squat.
Right.
So to be like, wait, that's the Animal Crossing character? That looks really wrong and weird. Why is it? So I don't know. I just feel like, I should have changed that. I get that it's like we're representing this whatever, but I just feel like, it would have been better to see them in their New Leaf thing. But
the other thing too, in terms of stages that I want to bring up, because I think you probably think I'm not as excited about stages as the characters, but I'm actually in agreement with you. I am more excited about the stages than the characters now that we've seen a bunch of them.
Right.
I am. Because Sakurai has now mentioned that not only does every stage have a battlefield and an Omega form, but additionally, every stage that's in the game also has a hazard toggle. And the thing is, there are certain stages that I absolutely love, just the layout of the stage, but there's just certain hazards that aren't fun. And I think having that hazard toggle is going to make them really, really a lot of fun to play on, and I think is going to open up competitive players to be more open to play on stages with really unique terrain. So I'm really excited about that a lot.
I'm a little bit I don't totally understand what the hazard toggle means.
Okay, so like Onett, for example, right? You always have the car that goes in the bottom of Onett.
Yeah.
The hazard toggle version of the stage would not have the car. The let me think of another version. The Spirit Track stage, for example. I love the Spirit Track stage. I absolutely love playing it casually, but I would love a competitive version of that stage that wasn't just a battlefield. And it sounds like for the Spirit Track stage, you know the little bomb trains that throw up on the top and break the caboose? They would not show up. So you would just be playing on a moving train.
Okay.
But Yeah, so there's like little things like that that would then be adjusted with the hazard toggle that you could play on those stages, and maybe it'd be better for competitive players, or like the Big Blue stage, for example, or Mute City, where you have like lots of cars underneath the bottom of the stage, or on Mute City, the cars would fly in the background. They wouldn't do that. They would just either always be there in one line, like on the bottom of Big Blue, or with like Mute City, they wouldn't show up at all when the stage is moving around.
Mm-hmm.
So there's stuff like that that I think is actually something that a lot of people are overlooking because there are Battlefield and Omega versions. But it's clear to me that Sakurai's put in the work to take out those smaller little hazards for the hazard toggle, and it's going to make a lot of those stages a lot more enjoyable to play on.
Okay. I'm all about balls to the wall, mass mayhem, craziness happening nonstop, but I think that is a good addition because I want people to play the stages kind of the way they were designed. And so if they're not doing that because they don't like the hazards, and if they can turn them off, they'll play it, that's a good thing, I think. I think it's good. Why is there a screenshot of a golden Pikachu? What is that? Is that an item that makes you golden, or?
Where do you see this?
It's under the Pokemon Fighter, I think, on the website. Or no, it's under Pikachu. It's under Pikachu. One of his. Oh, he does have a costume of that Pikachu Libre.
Oh, Pika Libre! I love that they have Pika Libre. They have the different hats from the game.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I love it.
But there's a big golden Pikachu.
I'm looking real quick.
Is that a thing in Pokemon? Is there like a golden Pikachu? Could that be a costume, or is that just an item turns you golden or something?
Oh, I think it's probably an item. Yeah, I'm looking at this right now. I have no idea what that is.
Maybe it's the golden fire flower from New Super Mario Brothers 2.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Because that lets you shoot out golden fireballs, maybe, or something.
Good eye on that. Good eye. Yeah, I did not see that. I love Squirtle looks terrified in that picture. So does Ivysaur. They're both like, what the heck?
Somebody in the chat is saying it's from Xerneas.
Oh, yeah. It's from Xerneas.
What is that?
It's one of the Pokemon that was already in the game.
Oh, it makes you golden when you get it?
Yeah, it makes you golden. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I've ever even come across that.
I also saw Memory Man was in the chat now and said, did they talk about Daisy's potential final smash? Yeah, that's another character that I think we haven't seen the final smash for that I think will be very different from Peaches.
Really? So I think it'll be the same? Yeah. I think it'll just be...
I don't think so at all.
The same thing, but it'll have a different drawing instead of the peaches falling. It'll have like flower petals fall.
I have a feeling that Daisy's final smash is going to, in some way, reference the sports games.
Okay. Well, wouldn't it reference Mario Land 2? Because that's where she was first invented or introduced.
I mean, that'd be kind of cool if she summons Tatanga in his little ship. That'd be kind of neat. I would like that.
Because I think her trailer plays that music. If you watch it, I think it has the Super Mario Land music or something.
I actually think you're right, too.
So
I think you're right.
I think that might be where they're kind of drawing most of their inspiration for her. Now, Waluigi would be the one that you use the sports stuff for.
Right. Yeah, if you're going to do it.
He's not in the game for some reason.
Man, so many. I'm just like looking at the stage list right now. Having Shadow Moses come back, the Metal Gear stage from Brawl, I loved that stage. That's one of my all-time favorite Super Smash Brothers stages. I loved it.
You know what's fun about that? You can't easily knock each other out until you break the walls.
Exactly. So you could bounce off the walls. It actually used to be a counter pick back in the competitive days of Brawl because you could kind of avoid the walls if you want to. You could like up air people to kill them. And the background was beautiful, seeing all the Metal Gears in the background. The music from Metal Gear, I think, is some of the best in all of Super Smash Brothers. So to hear that Snake Eater instrumental, the epic orchestral Metal Gear Solid music, and being able to play that competitively, it is going to be great. It's going to be a good time. Mm-hmm. Gerudo Valley is finally going to be a stage in HD because it was on the 3DS version. Just lots of these 3DS stages I loved. So seeing them come back in HD is going to be great. I loved the Nintendog stage on 3DS. I thought that was such a funny stage, having the dogs running around in the background. We know that's coming back. We know Gerudo Valley's coming back. 3D Land was pretty cool. That's coming back as well. Magicant, Prism Tower, Arena Faro, the Tortimer Island stage. There's just so many of them.
I bet the Street Pass stage won't make a return. That's probably one that won't come back. Remember that's the
Find Me stage that's already been revealed to come back.
Oh, really? Then what's the what? How do you not come back then? Like, how does a stage not make a return if that would?
Yeah, I don't know, but that has been confirmed. I think the stages that won't come back are either stages with characters that are now characters in the game, so like Pyrosphere, or stages that universally everybody hated, like the Windy Hill Zone from Sonic Lost World that was in Smash 4, which was a horrible stage, Or the
Horrible
Miiverse
character.
stage, because obviously there's no Miiverse on Switch, so they can't have a Miiverse stage anymore. So I don't think that would be in there anymore.
Yeah, that is true. I need to go really quick. Wait, what? Huh? Top chat. I don't know how to read the super chats anymore. How do I go right?
You just
Somebody's.
click the little thing at the
Oh,
top.
hold on a second. Oh no. I'll figure it out in a second. So yeah, how many stages do you think will be in the game? Like,
I think all the ones that we've already seen. So I don't even know how many that is. Let me look at this real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 times 2. Okay, so 28. 28. Oh my God. All right, so quick math. 28 times 2 plus 14.
Okay.
You can't do that, Josh? You can't do quick math in your head?
No, because I'm also trying to look through the chat.
All right, so to clarify, that is, 28 times 2 is 56. So plus 14 would be 70. So we already know of 70 stages, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that we've already seen. That includes new stages. So 78, plus we've already seen 2 of these deconfirmed stages as well. So we already know of 80 stages in the game.
Somebody says 84 in the chat.
84. We know of 84 stages that we've already seen. Those are just stages we've already seen. And we know there's going to be some new stages for some newcomers that have still yet to be revealed. And some of the other returning stages we haven't seen yet, I'm sure, are coming back. Paper Mario is probably one of them. You know what's a stage I really want to see come back, Josh?
What's that?
I really want to see Hannonbow come back from Brawl, the Electroplankton stage.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I like that one.
I love it. I want to see that come back. I want to see the Paper Mario stage come back. We haven't actually seen the Wind Waker pirate ship come back, but I think that's pretty much a given. We're going to see that. I don't think we've seen Pokéfloats come back, but I want to see Pokéfloats.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We haven't seen it yet, but I feel really strongly the stage is coming back. Is Brinstar Depths from Melee with Kraid in the background?
Oh no, that is in a screenshot.
Is it?
Yeah, we've seen that in one of the. I think it's in Ridley's, maybe on the main page for Ridley. I think I saw it.
We've seen a remix of Brinstar Depths on the website, but I don't think we've yet seen the Brinstar Depths stage where Kraid's in the background and turns it around. But I think that's a pretty likely one to come back.
Oh no,
well.
okay, I got the stages mixed up. I was thinking of the other one from Melee. Never mind.
Oh yeah, that one we've already seen come back. No, but Brinstar Depths is the one I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, good lord, like 80-something stages, and there's probably could be even more than that. That is, holy crap, that is so much.
There will be new stages, too, because we've already seen New Donk City, we've seen Moray Towers, we've seen the Great Plateau, we saw the new version of Battlefield. People have already seen a couple screenshots of the new version of Final Destination, which is probably alluded to in that artwork, like that cool pink and purple-looking portal thing. So we already know of 5. But I also feel pretty strongly we're probably going to get some type of new Kirby stage that the City Trial music's going to go on. I think a City Trial stage would be amazing. That would be really cool.
Did you mention the Splatoon stage?
I did. Yep. Okay. So we've seen Splatoon. I also think that we're going to see a new Pokemon on the roster. And because of that, I think we're going to get an Alola stage, whether that's like a tropical area or the Aether Paradise, where maybe you could start off on the bottom floor. You take the elevator up to the top, and then you go into the cool tropical nature preserve with like the Alola and Executor in the background. I think that'd be pretty neat. So I think Aether Paradise is probably going to be in there as a stage. And then I think if we get a new third party like Simon Belmont, we'll definitely get a Castlevania stage as well. So yeah.
Yeah, stages are just absolutely immaculate. And
they're amazing. Yeah, they're amazing this time around.
I love that they brought the I can't remember the names because I'm a simpleton. The one it's a Zelda stage on the beach with the moon in the background. It's from
Great Bay. I love Great Bay.
Yes, and it looks so good too with the big turtle and stuff. That's one of my favorites from Melee. So I'm very excited.
Me too. Yeah, I did a video before this got revealed where I talked about stages I wanted to see come back, and Great Bay was my number 1. So seeing Great Bay come back made me really happy.
Mm-hmm. Upper Nimbus in the chat. I can't find your question. Just say it again. Say your question.
Just say it in the chat.
I made you a mod, and I'm giving you a shout out. So there you go. Just say it again. Roger, this is. I think this is kind of the final thing we can touch on here, and this is something we could definitely talk about. And this is something they have not talked about. Modes. Obviously, one of the key things of every Smash Brothers game is that it has a lot of different modes for you to play. Break the targets and race to the finish and, the adventure or the classic mode and stuff like that. So what do you think we can look forward to in terms of modes? Are they going to step back a bit from modes and maybe just focus on the purity of Smash Brothers? Or will they make a lot of them come back?
Okay, so I think they're going to cut out a lot of the garbage modes from Smash 4. There were a lot of modes that were not good that I think they're just going to cut out completely. I don't think we're going to get Stage Builder anymore.
Oh, F that, yeah.
Screw it. Get rid of it. It doesn't need to be there anyway.
It could be done well. It could be done very well, but it has to have a lot of attention, and there's got to be a lot of pieces, and they're just not going to do that.
Exactly. So what I think they're going to do is I think they're going to do a best of for modes. I think we're going to get some great event matches. I think we're probably going to get some type of adventure mode along with the classic mode. I think Break the Targets is going to come back, like classic Break the Targets that's made exclusive for every character. And I think they could actually bring back Smash Run.
Ooh, yes.
I almost called it Stage Run, but I think they're going to bring back Smash Run because they have City Trial music in there, and Smash Run is already basically City Trial for Smash Brothers. And the thing is, I think everybody loves Smash Run, and it would make a lot more sense to have that in a handheld game, and then also be able to play it on the screen and interact with each other. I think Smash Run was almost perfect, but not being able to interact with each other really sucked. And I think they're going to fix that for this game. So that's my guess.
Yeah, I mean, I love Kirby Air Ride, and the City Trial mode is something that to this day myself and friends will play when we get together.
Me too. Yep.
And so Smash Run is basically the Smash Brothers version of that. And so it's such a great, fun concept. We have all these little events that randomly occur, and you're building up your stats, and then at the end of the time limit, you play some fun randomized event. It's such a fun mode, but like you said, it was really held back by the limitations of the 3DS. So if they were to bring that in Smash Ultimate, and you could play it like split screen on one TV, or play it online, oh my god, that would be so much fun. I'm worried they might not do a split screen just because I sometimes think a lot of game developers don't like doing split screen anymore, and they might do like a LAN thing or whatever. I hope they don't do that. I hope we do have a split screen option, because playing that like locally is where it's at, where you're yelling at each other and stuff like that. But man, Smash Run in Smash Brothers Ultimate would be so cool. I want it really bad. That's like my number one desire for this game at this point.
How many people could play Smash Run in the 3DS version?
Four of them.
Here's my guess. Here's actually exactly what I think we're getting. I think we're getting Smash Run that has online and local play, and it's up to 8 players, and you can interact with each other. That's my guess.
Okay.
That's what I think we're going to get.
As long as there's at least 4-player split screen, I am very happy.
Yep.
And like you said, you do need to be able to see each other on the map and be able to like hit each other and throw things at it and mess with each other. You could do it a little bit on the 3DS where you could like warp people around, but you never seeing...
Right, but it wasn't...
Yeah, you lose so much of the fun that City Trial has, because City Trial, I just always mess with my friends, run into them, break their craft. It's so much fun. And when you remove that element, it's like, oh, what a bummer. So if they do bring it over, I can't imagine they would be silly enough not to fix that. And they clearly the reason that you couldn't see each other is because of the limitations of the 3DS. Like the 3DS would have had to render where everybody is for every single system. It just wasn't going to be easy to do. I just really have hope for that being in this game, and so I'm going to wait and see. I don't remember because you went back and forth on this a while, and I don't know I don't remember what you settled on, but I, from day one, was a big fan of Smash Tour on Smash 4 on the Wii U.
Stop.
No, you listen here, mister. You hated it, and then you're like, all right, listen, Josh, don't tell anybody, but I actually played it with a couple friends or something, and it was kind of really fun.
Yeah, but I will say... having fun with that mode one time on an off chance when I happen to try it, and then the other times that I played it, like by myself, it was not fun at all.
By yourself, it's not fun to play anything.
No, absolutely not true. Because I can have a lot of fun playing Smash Run by myself. I play Smash Run by myself all the time. And I think they needed to make Smash Tour fun in the same way that Smash Run is fun by yourself and also with friends. If the mode is only fun with friends... and it's not fun in any other way, then I don't think it's a good mode.
But what about modes that are only fun by yourself and you can't play with friends, like the events? You're okay with that? So you're okay with there being content for single player, but not just for multiplayer?
No, you can play the events co-op, buddy.
Well, yeah, but those are special co-op events, aren't they?
No, you could play every event with a friend, pretty sure.
I don't know if you could in Brawl. I'm not sure.
But maybe not Brawl. Oh,
what about break
okay.
the targets in that? Like, there's clearly content just for one player, so why can't there be some content that's mostly just for multiple people?
Can't you play break the targets with a friend too, where you switch off?
Not in Melee and Brawl, I think. Maybe you could take turns, but it's not like you're playing together. Listen, Smash Tour is the most underrated mode in Smash Brothers history because everybody just wants to hate on it, but it is such a fun, unique way to experience Smash Brothers. The boards are like really simple, but like getting little partner characters and then you use them as like your stock and getting items. There's a lot of events that happen on the board. It's more fun than people let themselves realize. It's a fun mode. It's really easy for them to just bring it over, so I'd say bring it over. It's awesome.
I mean, if it's easy for them to bring over, then that's fine. But two things. One, if it takes a lot of development time, do not bring it back. And two, do not have the menu highlight Smash Tour as one of the first things when you click on it. Have it just in a mode like a Games and More menu that's like easy to find, that's not taking up half the screen. I hated the menu UI. I hated the menu UI in Smash 4 in both versions. I hated it.
Why?
I need them to simplify it and make it look nice like Brawl or like Melee. I think the menus in both Brawl and Melee were really clean. You knew where everything was. Like, why was training in games and I don't even remember like where everything was. And I think I hate that. I hate that. I like being able to know where everything is really easily when you turn on the game.
I think that the worst menus in the series are probably Melee.
Oh no, Melees are great. You can just get to everything really easily.
There's no like images. There's not much design. It's just very, very basic and sterile. With the images, images are like, oh, okay, I know what this is. I know what this is. So I don't know. I don't really remember. So here's a weird thing. Smash 4, most of my time playing it was on the 3DS, which is odd. But it's because it came out a month early for the 3DS. And so like it wasn't new feeling to me when it came to the Wii U. So while I liked it, I was like, hey, this is a game I've been playing for a month and it looks prettier. It never really took off with me and my friends as much as I thought it would have. We certainly played it, but not like Brawl or Melee. Or even the original Smash. So that's why I'm really excited about Ultimate, because it's like this is a chance to really, really get into it. I have a friend who's a complete idiot, and he refused to play Smash 4 because Snake wasn't in it, and that was his go-to guy. So kind of happy that now the idiot will be able to play with us.
No, see, so like I'm looking at the Brawl menu and the Smash 4 menu again, and there's just so many things that the Brawl menu did right. So like at the very top, the two big buttons at the top are Group and Solo. So if you want to play matches with friends, you go to Group. If you want to play Adventure Mode or anything like that, you go to Solo. Then there was a big button for Online, Vault, which was all the stuff like snapshots and trophies and making stages, and then Options, which needs to be one of the very first things. Has to be. Options has to be one of the first things
now
on the
I know
stage.
why
It
you're
needs
upset.
to be. And then Data. Options is buried in the menu. No, it absolutely should not be. Options should be there right there.
They built the game perfect. You don't need to adjust anything.
Absolutely not. No.
Now I know why you were mad.
And then Data is a whole separate thing on the front page. Options was buried away. Smash Tour was its own button. Games and More was like where you found all the extra stuff. Challenges wasn't under Vault. It was its own separate thing. No, it was gross.
Oh, I see why. You had to make a couple more clicks to remove all the content from the game for yourself. All right. All right, Roger Roo. I get it. I don't know.
I like the 3DS. Unpopular opinion, I like the 3DS version of Smash Brothers more than the Wii U version.
Wow.
So
might not fight you on that.
In fact, I no longer own the Wii U version.
Me either.
I gave away my Wii U, and I don't have Smash anymore. So one of my cousins has it, and I have my 3DS, and I still play Smash 3DS all the time.
Well, you still own a Wii U because you have a Switch, and they're the same thing. They have the same library of games.
Not true. Oh, well, that's true. All the good Wii U games I have on my Switch. You're right, Josh. You're right about that. So why do I need a Wii U when all the good Wii U games are on my Switch?
That's not true.
And I have all the other good games.
Because Nintendo Land will never come to the Switch, and that game's awesome.
Well, you know what? I can play Nintendo Land at your house. I don't need to have a bulky little disgusting Fisher-Price system sitting on my shelf anymore.
I love my Wii U. I put my Switch in the closet, and I display my Wii U gamepads.
Yeah, sure you do. Even though I see you on Splatoon 2 every day. Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's my game. That's my jam.
Dude, that game is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. The Octo expansion, whoo! It's so good.
It is good. Oddly enough, though, I'm very much, like, against all these Octolings in my damn plaza now. It's just they're the flavor of the month. I don't get it.
I like them.
I like him enough that I hate the ones that have the afro. The guy Inkling with the afro just looks like the most dopey thing Nintendo's ever designed.
I like it.
I can't stand it. What else did we leave out? Did we kind of cover all the bases here? A lot of people were complaining to me that we didn't do discussions about this, so I'm wondering if everybody is satiated now.
Yeah, I feel like we've covered pretty much everything now. The characters, the stages, the graphics, the music. Everything.
Subspace Emissary, no way they're doing that again, is my opinion. Thoughts?
That's my guess. I think what they're going to do is I think they're going to do an adventure mode similar to Melee, because a lot of people have been asking for a long time, and they've been bringing back a lot of Melee stuff in this game, so I think they're probably going to bring back adventure mode. I mean, if they brought back directional air dodging, they're going to bring back adventure mode. That's my guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think there'll be the classic mode, which, we've seen that. Was classic mode in Smash 4? Yeah, right?
Yeah, it was. It was like that weird thing where like you bet coins and then you move on a map and stuff. Just bring back the classic mode, dude. We don't need all this weird, stupid extra stuff. We didn't need it. We didn't need the betting on coins and different routes. Just give me classic mode that I could play through, and give me back like the giant Donkey Kong or whatever and the metal Mario match or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm. And as for the adventure mode, I would be totally fine with them just doing something like Melee, to where you do have some unique stages, like you have the side-scrolling Mario thing or whatever, and then you also have some of them just being like a regular fight or something, and you kind of mix it up. That's fun. Yeah, so I'd say that.
And it's something you could beat in like a half hour to an hour, right? It's something that like you feel like you could sit down and play through and see all these really unique stages that reference like the Nintendo games of yore, but at the same time doesn't take up all of your time and doesn't regurgitate the same content over and over again, which the second half of Subspace did. I love Subspace Emissary, but the second half became a Metroidvania that recycled older stages, and I mostly was playing that to see the cool CG cutscenes, and I don't think we're going to get that, so I feel like, you know what, just bring back adventure mode. That'll be fine.
Yeah. Subspace Emissary, like I said, I don't think they will ever do that again. I think that was probably a lot of work they put in, because there's so many unique stages and whatnot, and the story FMVs. So I don't see them doing that again. But here's a question. Do you think that this game, because I will say, I feel Melee hasn't aged as well as some people think, which will probably get me killed for saying on the internet. But
actually, I don't disagree with you.
Okay.
Anymore.
Wow. Interesting.
I don't.
I will
like
always
Melee
love it. I'll
lot.
always love it, but it's
Same.
not the game I'm going to play if I want to play Smash Brothers in the year 2018.
And I definitely feel like even though we're in like the pre-release of this game, this is unquestionably going to be the best Smash game of all time. Having every character, the majority of the stages, plus new characters, plus online, and you're able to take it on the go. Like, that was the big thing I loved about the 3DS version of Smash, is being able to take it on the go. Wherever I wanted to go, I had Smash Brothers. Now I'm going to be able to have that with Smash Switch, and also be able to play it online in HD on my TV, relaxing on the couch. It's going to be great.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that, because every Smash Brothers kind of has a little intro video, do you think they'll finally go back to Melee and make that really cool, like, FMV specially designed for the intro, or will they just use gameplay clips again?
Did you set that up for me?
Why?
Because I was just going to bring this up. If you look on the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate website, you could see at the very top of the music page, you guys know I'm a huge music nut, you could see the main theme of Smash Bros. Ultimate, but it says main theme parentheses E3 2018 version. And you could listen to the song, and obviously it's amazing. You've got the choir in the background, all the instruments. It's great. However, I think the reason why it says E3 2018 version is I think the final version is going to be orchestrated, and we're going to get it tied in with a really beautiful CG opening cutscene. That is my guess, because they've done this for a few games before in the past. Nintendo has, where they've had like the sort of MIDI track as the one that they play at E3 and that reveal at E3, but then the final version is orchestrated. They did this with the Cascade Kingdom in Mario Odyssey. If you go back and you listen to the original Odyssey trailer, they had like the Cascade Kingdom, but it was sort of like a MIDI track. It was still epic and sounded exciting, but it didn't have all the bells and whistles, and it wasn't fully orchestrated yet. And I think the same thing is going to hold true for Smash Ultimate. I think we're going to get the big, bombastic, orchestrated version of the theme that we heard at E3 alongside a really beautiful opening.
Okay. Yeah, I sure hope so, because I do think that's one of the things that has aged well in Melee. Just the idea that they had,
Oh, the opening's incredible. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. So I feel like since this is like this big celebration of Smash Brothers, you kind of got to do that. Like the gameplay clips aren't really that fun to watch as an intro. So we'll see how that goes. Here's something.
The intros since Melee have gotten progressively worse, because in Melee it was its own thing. In Brawl, it was still good because they had parts of the really unique CG cutscenes from Subspace, and then Smash 4 just dropped all of that and was like, here's some gameplay footage.
Well,
it's
so
like, oh, come on.
That's the thing, because like with Brawl, you could forgive it because the whole game has like 30 minutes of actual
exactly
right. So it's like I get it, but with Smash 4, there was none of that, and so it was very strange to not see it. So we'll see what happens.
And I do think we're gonna get a little bit of it. I really do.
Okay, we'll see. I'm hopeful, because I just imagine how amazing that would look and be
with all the characters, seeing all these characters in beautiful CG interacting with each other. My God.
I don't know how you feel about this. I think the main theme is just okay. It's not the best Smash Brothers theme. Really?
No, I felt this way initially when I was listening to people try to piece it together from the original teaser that we got with the Inkling. So the you can hear that in the original teaser trailer, and people were piecing together their own versions of it, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm not really a huge fan. But now, listening to it, I mean, I've had the theme on repeat. I think this theme is far better, leagues better than Smash 4's. Leagues better, not even in the same ballpark, and I think is on par with Melee's, but still not as good as Brawl's. But I think will be as good as Brawl's once you get the final orchestrated version of it. That's where I land right now.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I actually use Nintendo music to jog to because it's really like exciting and inspirational, and I don't know, I couldn't do it with this. I just felt like it was a little bit too phoned in. It didn't really have much of an identity to me.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Is that the E3 version is just using like the instruments that you could put together on your computer, whereas the final version is going to clearly be orchestrated. I mean, you could hear even in some of the tracks that have already been revealed that they have full orchestrations. So they're going to do that for certain songs. I can't imagine they would not do that for the main theme, especially because they label the main theme E3 2018 version. It's not just the main theme.
Okay, we'll see. I do think it needs the power of some orchestration behind it to maybe push it over the edge.
I agree.
I do want to make a quick clarification because people might be pointing this out. There were actually FMV videos in Smash 4, but they were for the character reveals. So they were kind of tucked away, and we mostly saw those on the internet. Like we experienced those on the internet before. So yeah. Hey, do you want them to keep secrets about this game so that you can kind of discover it? Yeah, that was Smash 4's biggest problem, I thought. We knew everything before the game launched. I kind of didn't like that. So I hope
considering what he's been saying too about unlocking stuff, I feel like we are going to get a lot of good secrets in the game. Unless people data mine it. I think the issue with Smash 4 is there still would have been secrets like Duck Hunt Dog and Bowser Jr., but that stuff got data mined pretty early on. Where then they were like, all right, well, let's just show these, before the Wii U version comes out. And there were two versions, and we saw the full roster and knew the roster was going to be the same. And Smash 3DS came out way before the Wii U version, so I do think there will be a couple surprises in there on the final, the day the game comes out. So
yeah, that's something I'm definitely noticing more and more as I play games on like the Switch and whatnot. Is there seems to be this lack of giving you things for certain, oh, do this to unlock this character or this stage.
Right.
I really miss that because, like with Smash Brothers, I'm not always going to have my friends nearby, and there's going to be times when I want to play it, and it would be nice to be like, well, I can play it, and I'll unlock stuff, and that's fun. So I hope there's a lot of like secrets and things to do to like unlock stuff. That'd be a really
There's also there's a debate going on in the chat where Pokemon Trainer Red said the E3 version is orchestrated, but I wanted to call out Coolio Creations, who said right afterwards, it is not. You can tell if you're a music head. The thing is, it sounds nice, but you can hear, if you're a big fan of music and you listen to orchestra a lot, you'll know that is a computer-generated orchestra. That is not the actual live orchestra that they had with Melee stuff. So,
the City Trial music sounds phenomenally good.
Oh my God, so good. The City Trial track's great. I like the Snipper Clips track as well.
Notebook, yep.
Really great.
I don't like Bomb
Rush.
Rush.
Track.
See,
I like Bomb Rush.
Well, but I don't like that track too much to begin with, so that's probably why. I don't think it's bad, but it doesn't really do it for me.
Brinstar Depths, amazing, really great remix.
Breath of the Wild theme.
Oh my God, the Breath of the Wild thing, and the Vega stage from Street Fighter 2. Whoo! Done by Yoko Shimomura, who does all the Kingdom Hearts music, and you could tell when you hear it in her arrangement, it's so good, man. So I love that, like, he didn't even have to do this. He could have brought back everything and said, all right, here's everything we've ever done, and I still would have been pretty happy. But they're going out of their way to still add new music tracks, add new stages, add new characters. It's so good.
New assist
I'm so happy
trophies
with
and all
new assist trophies, new Pokemon. Beware's in there, Solgaleo's in there, you know.
So yeah, I think that's what I really admire about Sakurai so much. We've got so many of Nintendo's franchises just being ported from the Wii U, like a direct port with some little minor thing added in. And for me, just my personal opinion, that's a real bummer because I already played those games. They're not even budget releases. They're full price releases. And they are taking the place of like a potential release because there's nothing else coming out the month they come. So to see Sakurai saying, and Sakurai of all people could have easily just said, we're porting over and bringing everything in or whatever, and we're not going to do anything new. And people probably would have been cool with that. Very cool with that, I think.
Yeah.
But to see that he's like going through and they're like updating models and textures even in the Wii U stages and stuff. It's just really, really admirable to see somebody care that much about the game. And I really wish that more of Nintendo's teams had that attitude. You know, like just, this is slightly off topic, but like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, why isn't that a sequel to Captain Toad? Why is it just a port? You know, like, so just to see Sakurai and his team not be content with doing the easy thing and just porting it over or whatever, and really putting a lot of extra details and stuff. That's very, very cool. I'm very happy about that.
Yeah. Something I want to talk to you about, though, because we sort of like glazed over this. We talked about the characters that were revealed, but we didn't talk about, and we sort of predicted a couple other characters too, but we didn't talk about how many characters we think will be their launch day. Because I think both of us agree there's no way they're not doing DLC for this game.
They'll do DLC.
There's definitely going to be, they will definitely do DLC. But Sakurai mentioned in the Direct at E3 to not expect too many newcomers, right? So looking at the newcomers that were added in each game, Melee added 14 characters, Brawl added 18, Smash 3DS and Wii U added 21, and we already have 3 for Smash Ultimate with Inkling, Daisy, and Ridley. Because he said to not expect too many new characters, on disc, I actually think we're only going to get about 10 newcomers.
Oh,
I think
God,
which is less than Melee.
You're predicting way more than I was going to predict.
Really?
I genuinely think there might be like 2 other characters that we don't know about. And I don't think the DLC will be characters. I think it might be other stuff.
Oh, like... no. I disagree with that. I know 2 characters right away who will probably be DLC.
But Sakurai kind of seems like he wants to be done with it and move on, and he's very much involved with the creation of even like every single character. And so to do DLC as characters, that's still going to be a workload for him. And I wonder if he's really interested in doing that.
But we talked about this before. They were still working on newcomers and stuff like for Smash Wii U and working on tweaking things in that game while this game was in development. So it would not surprise me to then have them go, you know what, Sakurai, you could make a game you want to make now. But still, like, make new DLC in terms of characters. Like, even if it's 1 character a year or something like that, I still think we're going to.
Do you feel like you need more characters?
I don't, but I think that they are going to do an ARMS character as DLC. And I think they're going to do Pyra and Rex from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as 1 character, as DLC as well. Because Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was the best-selling game in that franchise to date. And everybody wants Rex and Pyra in the game. That's like one of the most wanted newcomers. But I think they were just a little bit too new to actually put in the original design document for this game. So I think we're going to get Rex and Pyra, and I think we're going to get Springman. And I think they'll be added as DLC, along with maybe another third-party character. But I think on disc, we're probably only going to get about 10 total, and that includes Inklings, Daisy, and Ridley, which also means that includes Echo Fighters. I think maybe we're going to get 2 or 3 newcomers that are totally new characters in the game. So things like maybe Simon Belmont or K Rool or, a new Pokemon. We'll probably get that, but I also think we're going to get quite a few Echo Fighters. I don't think he would have gone out of his way to reclassify the clones as Echo Fighters unless he was going to really add quite a few more.
I think the Echo Fighters would be what the DLC is because it doesn't require a lot of work. So I don't think we'll see many more, if any, Echo Fighters in the game when it launches. I think that'll be sort of like a later thing. I think the DLC will mostly be focused on like maybe adding some new music or some new stages, new costumes for pre-existing characters, maybe some little updates that you can do in extra modes. For some reason, I just don't think it's a good idea to expect completely new characters as DLC. I think it'll be like a pack of 3 Echo Fighters or something.
I would be cool with that. If they're going to put new characters in, they'll put them on the disc and then make the Echoes DLC. I'd be fine with that. That'd be cool.
And I also feel like just the way Sakurai was kind of wording things and just the amount of characters already in this game.
Right.
I genuinely think maybe there's about 3 characters that we don't know about so far, and they'll be there. I think one of them would probably be like Spring Man and Ribbon Girl as like the same character. They're just like a swap, like the villagers are.
Right. Right.
I can see that being a thing because I think Nintendo still wants to push ARMS, and
I agree.
So I think ARMS will be represented. Like I said, I think there'll be a Pokemon. I think there will be some Pokemon that'll be a newer Pokemon in there. But honestly, I'm only expecting like genuinely about 3 characters that we haven't seen so far, and I'm totally okay with that because.
Me too.
There's a lot of updates, little tweaks to the characters that already exist in the game. I mean, look at this. I mean, good effing Lord. This is the biggest fighting game to ever exist by a large margin as far as not only everything, but just the character roster alone is just unspeakably large. And so, honestly, I just don't personally anticipate a lot of character DLC. And if there is, I think it'll be stuff like Daisy was, to where it's like, oh, that's like a character in the game, but this is,
Or like, in fact, you say that, and the more I think about it, Octoling's definitely going to be DLC.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it now, because Splatoon, obviously, Splatoon fans are rabid. They'll buy whatever. And I think Splatoon is obviously a very popular franchise and could probably use a second representative. And considering the popularity of the Octo expansion, they could probably do an Echo Fighter Octoling and make that as DLC and maybe bundle it with another Splatoon stage or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Actually, that would be really cool to have spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't beaten Octopath.
Oh wait, I haven't beaten it.
I'm not going to say anything, but I think I'll say this. I think you'll see the final area of the Octo expansion and go, that would be an awesome Smash Brothers stage.
Okay. Not everybody keeps telling me that.
Bundling that with Octolings.
Everybody in those journals that I'm doing, they're like, oh God, when he gets to the end, we got to see that.
Just wait, man. It's so good. I filmed the live reaction live stream. It was that good. Yeah. It was so good. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it now, and like considering the 3 newcomers and then the characters they brought back that were cut from the game previously. So that is Wolf, Snake,
Pichu,
the Pokemon trainer, Young Link, Pichu, and Ice Climbers. That's 6. Plus the other 3. Mm-hmm. That's already 9 technically that are new from Wii U and 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could maybe see them, like you said, adding like 2 or 3 totally new characters, maybe another Echo Fighter or 2, and then calling it a day. And then maybe tying with Melee in terms of newcomers if you're including characters brought back that were previously cut as newcomers. And I think that's great. That's great.
Yeah, it's funny, if you look at the website, there is just kind of space for 2 more. And that could not mean anything. That could just be reading into. That's just the way they format it or whatever. But it could also mean like, oh, we've made this to where we can easily swap in those other 2 characters we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think the rumors have just been so strong for Simon Belmont at this point from Castlevania. Because, like, since the original leaks of this, when people were talking about this, where it was like, Ice Climbers coming back, Ridley's new, and you're going to get Simon Belmont. And then now that we see Snake is back, and Snake is a Konami-owned character, and obviously Capcom has multiple characters in this with Ryu and with Mega Man, and Sega, too, with, like, Sonic and with Bayonetta. I think, you know what? We're probably going to get Simon Belmont. And I know we're going to get a new Pokemon. That's like a given. We always get a new Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. We can get the new 2 would be a new Pokemon.
Predict the new Pokemon, Roger. Predict who the new Pokemon's going to be.
I'm not going to do that because I know what you're trying to do. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Oh, I miss the days when you didn't know me so well.
I'll say this. I will say this. There's a lot of fake leaks going around for this game.
Fake news.
And I see a single Pokemon that is always on all these leaks that immediately discredits all of these leaks. I will say that.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to say, but I'm not going to say anything else. So.
Well, listen, as far as leaks go, my boy, there were strong leaks saying that Spyro and Crash Bandicoot would be in it. There were strong leaks saying there was a racing Star Fox game. So
no, but I'm saying within the past couple of weeks, there have been a lot of leaks where people have been like, oh, these seem pretty credible. And then I see the Pokemon and I'm like, ha, these are totally fake. So there you go.
All right. Well, that is our, hour and a half long discussion about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I'm excited for this. I'm genuinely.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm more excited for this now that we've sat down and talked about it. I've never looked. I don't know if I said this in the stream, but I did tell Roger. I've never looked at the website before because I thought it was just some template default E3 thing.
Dude, look at the website. There's a lot of stuff
info.
there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's funny. I'm on the character page and I'm just scrolling down. It legitimately is like it takes time just to scroll through the characters quickly.
Right.
It's insanity.
Yeah,
I love that the Mii's are back too. Those are ones that I would have like assumed sort of that they wouldn't bring back because of Nintendo downplaying the Mii's.
They got to have that Mii costume DLC. They got to make that money, dude. Of course they're going to bring back the... And also Sakurai knows he doesn't want to take out the feature where you've got people on Miiverse being like, could you throw Reggie in the game as a playable character? He's like, just make him a Mii brawler. All right, just do it.
Quick random question. So I know in Smash 4 there's a Woohoo Island stage for Wii Sports Resort. Was there two of them? I remember one on a plane and the planes didn't land, but wasn't there one where you landed in certain spots? Yeah.
So there was Pilot Wings and Woohoo Island, and both have already been confirmed for this game.
Okay, the other one was labeled as a Pilot Wings thing. Yeah, because Pilot Wings Resort was like that 3DS game that was on Woohoo.
Pilot Wings is one of my favorite stages from Smash 4.
Yeah. I like when it lands though, because I like all the little locations in Woohoo Island, so I'm very excited.
I like that too. Yeah, I mean, I like both versions of the stage. I just hearing the Pilot Wings music, like that vocal remix, and when you're flying through the sky and the rings and everything, it's great. I'm a huge fan of the original Super Nintendo Pilot Wings. That's like probably in my top 20 favorite games of all time. I really genuinely love that game. I just do. I don't know. I've always liked it. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've concluded here tonight that Roger hates the Smash Brothers series, but I clearly love it. And
Right. No, I actually think this is probably the most positive discussion we've ever had. I think like we're just gushing over the game at this point, about how great it's going to be.
Like I said, there's a few things I'm not a fan of, but there's some of them that could be fixed. Like the shaders and the lighting could be adjusted. Samus could get her boobs back, and Snake could get a listen, just to prove I'm not sexist, I'm also really disappointed about Snake not having a sexy big ass. So. Let the record
That's right.
state.
He's got to have his big butt again.
Yeah.
Something we didn't talk about. Custom moves. We didn't talk about custom moves.
Oh, do you think they'll be back?
I think they're back exclusively for Mii's.
Okay.
That is my guess. Because Palutena, whose whole moveset in Smash 4 revolved around like utilizing unique custom moves, has now been given her own standard moveset. Her side B is now what one of her custom moves used to be. It was like that where she shoots out that little like firework. It's like it's not a firework. It's like a little ball of fire. It's a sideways ball of fire. And then her standard B is probably still the same. Her up B is probably still the same. But her down B, which used to be a counter, is now a counter and reflector, which used to be her side B. So she now has her own standard moveset. You don't need to have to worry about custom moves. So I actually think custom moves are going to be cut, except for the Mii fighters, because we've already seen a lot of different moves for the Mii fighters in both their trailer and in footage of the game. And Sakurai said he's trying to get the Mii fighters to work online, which says to me, if it was just a set move, why would that be an issue? Why would that be an issue getting them to work online? I think it's because the custom moves are basically still there for the Mii fighters, and he wants to make sure that they're all still balanced where you can work online and still use whatever custom move you like without having to deal with, lag online or something like that. So I do think custom moves are back exclusively for the Mii fighters. That's my guess.
Okay. I mean, I will be happy either way. I liked the custom moves in Smash 4. I thought that was a very smart idea. It was a way to change up the way characters were playing. So that was something I just thought was a fun thing to do, especially as like a single player, just kind of sort of grinding to get those updates. Although I think the movesets. Although I think they could adjust it a bit so it's a little less grindy if they bring them back, because it was very much like playing again and again to get everything. But if they don't come back, you know what? I enjoyed the hell out of Smash Brothers before they existed. I don't think they set a new standard. So if they're not there, I'm okay. If they are there, I'm cool. So either way.
And I'm also really happy. I know people were mixed about this. I'm really happy the Mii's are back. Like, I'm genuinely really, really happy they're back, because it was always fun to do those epic Smash Battle of History series where like you take famous celebrities and have them fight against each other. And now it's going to be in HD. There's going to be lots of cool options for stages. So I'm like genuinely excited to bring that series back and do tons of fun little videos, where you set the items specifically for the characters that you're playing as and you have them go up against each other. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I also like the way the Mii fighters look now, that they're proportioned like people. They bulked up.
They've bulked it up. Yeah, I usually would play as the Mii Gunner quite a bit. So Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
And Pokemon, oh my, we didn't talk about Pokemon Trainer too. Can I talk about how much I love that Pokemon Trainer has made a return and that they put Charizard back into that moveset and we have Squirtle and Ivysaur again, and that they took out the mechanic where you get tired and they have weaknesses? Thank goodness. Now if I just want to play a Squirtle or Ivysaur horror match, I could do that and not worry about having to shift between the three of them. But also they fixed the shifting mechanic, where now it's like way faster to switch between Pokemon. So you could set up a combo with a bigger character like Ivysaur or Charizard, switch to a Squirtle, do a little bit of chip damage, and then switch back, and then end up finishing the combo. Pokemon Trainer, I am telling you right now, is going to be a character you will see in tournaments. There's a lot of really unique combo potential, and they played like a dream in the demo. And they look so cool now. Ivysaur looks like Ivysaur. It doesn't look like this weird version of Ivysaur that was in Brawl. And Squirtle looks super cute too. And I love the Pokemon characters, obviously. I know you have a soft spot for Gen 1 as well. So seeing Pokemon Trainer come back, I just think that's such a unique idea for a character. So I'm really happy they ended up bringing them back.
Yeah, I agree. I actually was opposed to the idea of removing transformation characters, but that one specifically I thought was a bummer because it was so cool to have the Pokemon Trainer and being able to switch. They also added, I don't know if this wasn't in Smash 4 or Brawl, where you could be the girl Pokemon Trainer. That's new, right?
Right, that's new. They added a bunch of costumes for her too. That's kind of cute. But yeah, I'm kind of with you. I was opposed to transformations because of Pokemon Trainer. But like with Sheik and Zero Suit, I was happy they were separate slots. Because I like that Zelda references, like the Phantom Hourglass. Or it wasn't Phantom Hourglass. What's that? Spirit Tracks. Like the Phantom that you summon in Spirit Tracks. I like that Zelda's down B is now that, and I like Sheik's down B with the bouncing fish. So I do like that they have separate down Bs. But I thought, you know what? Charizard doesn't need to be his own character. Put him with the Pokemon Trainer. It's great.
Yeah, I didn't
references
understand
all three of the original starters,
Oh, yeah, I didn't understand, though, like, why Charizard amongst all three? Like, why would he be the one that was chosen? I guess just because
Charizard's the most iconic, I think, too.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, Pikachu, Charizard, and Mewtwo are like the three most iconic Pokemon of all time. So you're not going to remove Charizard from the game.
No, I just meant, like, why Charizard instead of Squirtle or Ivysaur? So.
Well, Ivysaur is like a middle form, and is it like, obviously it's a popular Pokemon because it's a starter, but I don't think it's something that would have justified its own moveset, and I don't think Squirtle would have justified its own moveset either outside of Pokemon Trainer, unless it was like the Squirtle Squad Squirtle with the sunglasses. So I'm glad they're both back because I like Squirtle and Ivysaur and they're really fun to play as. But I'm also glad that Charizard was reincorporated into that moveset. And I love Prism. Oh my! Can we talk about how in the demo Prism Tower looks so good in HD? It looks so good. That was one of my favorite stages from the 3DS. One of my all-time favorite Pokemon stages. So to see that make a return, I was really, really happy about it.
Yeah, it does. I'm looking at a screenshot. It looks really cool.
Greninja and the beautiful Unova Pokemon League stage came back as well. Spear Pillar came back. Ends Castle from 3DS came back. Woo! I'm so happy.
How about a Pokemon Snap stage? That'd be amazing. Like
that would be great.
One that travels through the levels. That'd be cool.
Maybe we'll get one. I feel pretty confident we're going to get an Aether Paradise stage, but I mean, a Pokemon Snap stage would be really cool.
I wouldn't be surprised if next month there's like some video on the internet that shows off Pokemon Snap being like in HD and remastered. That seems like something that'll happen soon.
And that would be so cool. I'm really looking forward to that, man.
So yeah, Roger, I'm sure we'll do more discussions about this game. I'm sure there'll be some sort of update. Like I said, they haven't talked much about modes. I feel like they're holding those back to talk about them at a later date, maybe closer to launch. They do the fall, the September direct. I'm assuming that's when we might get an update. So you seem to think it might be in July, but I don't know. I feel like they always do it in September.
I actually don't think it's going to be in either September or July. I think it's going to be August this year. And let me explain why.
Okay.
In August, there's a lot of stuff happening. July is sort of the Octopath Traveler month. And I think we're already sort of midway through July. I think it's a little too late. I know there's that Smash tournament that's happening in Japan on the 15th. I don't think that means anything. I don't think we're getting an announcement there. I think we're going to get a full-on direct in August, where early August, where Kimishima reveals the rest of those smaller games that are going to be in the fall lineup. I think we're going to get a character reveal trailer. And the reason I think it's going to be in August is because two really big Nintendo events are happening in August of this year. The first week of August is EVO, which is that massive fighting game tournament. And not only are Melee and Smash 4 both going to be at EVO, but this is the first EVO ever in which the EVO is taking place between the release of a Smash Brothers game that was announced previously in the year that also had a playable demo at E3. So I think there will be a demo of Smash Bros. Ultimate at EVO, and I think we're getting a character reveal at EVO. But if we don't get a character reveal at EVO, I think we might get a character reveal the following week alongside a Nintendo Direct at the Pokemon World Championships, which are also happening in August. That would make a lot of sense to reveal a Pokemon there. That also has not happened, in which a Pokemon Worlds happened and they could have revealed a Pokemon character with the other game announced, because I think the only time that would have happened would have been Oris, and we already knew the full roster. We already knew Greninja at that point because he was revealed in July. So my guess is that we might get a new Pokemon revealed at Pokemon Worlds or tied into a Nintendo Direct in August. But I feel really strongly that we're getting one in early August.
Okay. I mean,
yep.
I'd be cool with August. Earlier, more.
Yeah. And Gamescom is in August as well. So you've got Gamescom, EVO, and Pokemon Worlds. There's going to be a lot of stuff announced. And so I think that's my guess.
Is that possibly a reason to not do it in August and just wait till early September so that the attention is all on the Direct and not other things?
No, because I think early September, their big push is going to be the online service. That's when they're launching online.
But that's when they can do the Direct, though.
Nope, I think that's going to be a whole separate thing. I think they're going to do like an online presentation thing. I think that's going to be a separate Direct.
What?
To talk about the online and all the different features and lay it out.
You think there's going to be features to Nintendo's online? It's just literally going to be, hey, we flipped a switch and now you have to pay for it. We've done nothing new.
I do think there's other things that they haven't talked about yet. Yes.
Okay.
Because I don't think it's just going to be, if they end up doing that presentation, I don't think it's just going to be online. I think we're going to see themes in whenever that presentation happens, so like Switch themes. And I also think that we are going to be seeing the announcement of Netflix and Crunchyroll and Funimation, because all of the apps are already sort of on the eShop. They've been data mined. So we know the apps are ready to launch. It's just up to Nintendo to press the button. And I think they're going to tie that in with the online service. So, yeah.
But that wouldn't be the online service, though, because Netflix is not through Nintendo.
I know.
Online.
You have to pay for it separately, but I think they're going to tie it in with those announcements.
Wouldn't that cause confusion? Wouldn't people that are stupid be like, wait, Nintendo's making me pay to use Netflix on my Switch?
When has that ever stopped them? so I don't think, that means anything.
Well, we know that at some point in the next month or two or three, something we'll have an update. So that'll be fun.
Can't wait to see another new character in Smash Brothers. Can't wait.
See, yeah, I feel totally quenched with the characters in this game.
I mean, I do too, but you got to remember, those reaction videos bring in a lot of dough. But no, genuinely, I mean, I get really excited about new character reveals. I always have. And I do still think we're getting at least 2 more. I really feel strongly about that. And if there are extra ones, I don't want to see them. I think maybe do one in like August and then maybe do one right before the game comes out. But if there's any other characters, whether they're Echo Fighters or another new character, keep them hidden. Keep them hidden, let me unlock them, you know?
Speaking of reacting to newcomers, did you see, somebody linked me to this, Howard Stern did a reaction.
Oh my God, his Etika. So Etika was at my house a couple days ago. We did a Anime Expo party, and we were talking about that. That was hands down one of the funniest things I've ever watched. Howard Stern breaking down Etika's live reaction.
I like how he calls him
If you haven't watched the video, he calls him Etika. He's like, so apparently they're throwing in Ridley the Dragon. It's a big deal that Ridley the Dragon is in this fighting game, and I'm pretty sure he just called the dragon the N-word. Robin, is that okay? And then Robin's like, no, I don't think so, Howard. That stream is so funny, man. Go watch it. Go. People are saying poor Etika. Dude, no, Etika loved it. We were just talking about it, man. Etika was like, this is great, man. You're on a mainstream radio program. You're winning at life, dude.
If only he pronounced his name properly, though.
Etika. Etika. No, man. Joy-Con boys represent. I love them. I love them.
All right. Well, Roger, that's Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I don't think people can complain anymore about us not doing a discussion. So they got an hour and a half.
It's a really long one.
That's what she said. So, Roger, I'm sure they know by now, but where can people find you on the internet for more Smash Brothers reactions and Smash Brothers gameplay? We got to play against each other when it comes out.
Oh, yeah. Well, we were talking about this, too. I'm going to be back at Christmas time along with at Halloween and after September as well, because I'm going to fly in from our Disney World trip to Chicago to visit with family. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have multiple opportunities to do fold stuff. But at Christmas, the game will already be out because it's coming out on December 7th. So we can definitely do some fun like Ice Climbers versus what's another character that has ice powers in the game?
Well, I know there's the winter level with the ice climbers. That's going to be a good one.
Well, yeah, we'll play on the summit. We'll do a couple fun little fold matches in the summit. It'll be great. We can do ice climbers dittos, man. It'd be great for Christmas time.
Perfect. But yeah, they can find you at RogersBase on Twitter, which has been on the stream the whole time there.
And RogersBase on YouTube as well. I do Nintendo videos and anime videos. I have a manga video going up literally the second that this ends. I'm probably going to go click the make public button. It's an Attack on Titan live reaction. And look forward to more Smash Brothers stuff coming up in the near future on my channel as well. I have a lot of prediction videos coming up. And I really think we should start doing some discussions on my channel again as well. Because I don't know if you noticed, Josh, but a certain person just surpassed you in subscribers. So I think you might need a little bit of a push from me.
I genuinely have not looked at my subscriber count in probably months.
Yeah, so I think
I'll take your word.
We should start doing it on my channel. You can get some new people coming to you. We gotta be at an even playing field for Disney World. We gotta be equals. Okay. I can't be above you. Come on, man. I look up to you. You gotta be at my level at least.
I'm counting down the days until we go to visit Robot Trump at Disney World. It's gonna be glorious.
It's gonna be a great vlog. You and Bill going, yeah, Morgan. I'm gonna be in the background being like, you guys are idiots.
But he'll secretly be wearing his MAGA hat, guys. Don't worry. Roger's got one.
No, I will not be wearing a MAGA hat.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And I noticed a couple of you were asking if this is going to be uploaded. Yes, it is. In fact, a lot of you are probably listening to it right now on YouTube, so you know that. But yeah, Thanks for all your support. Thanks for listening, guys. And we'll be back whenever there's more to talk about.
Probably soon, within the next month and a half, whenever the next direct is.
Yep. So long, Gay Bowsers.
Bye, everybody.